Salve discipuli. Hello, 8th grade remote students. This is our video lesson for the post-cenam translation passage in our textbook. So this is what we're going to be translating in class this week, so that's why there's a video lesson accompanying this one. And then don't forget, you also are going to be translating the Metella et Melissa, but that's going to be separate in a separate thing on Google Classroom. It's going to be a separate document. So no video lesson for that one. So for post-cenam, you guys know the drill. You're going to watch this video. This first part, we're going to be walking through the Latin and some of the bonus vocabulary, and then you'll translate the passage and then come back for the part 2 video where I will go over the translation and you can make corrections. So we have here a couple of bonus words. Move myself off to the side over here. We have explicavit. This is a perfect tense verb meaning explained. He or she explained. Wale, this is goodbye. So salve, hello. Wale, goodbye. Timide, this means nervously. It's an adverb. It's where we get the word timid from. Procedebant, this is they were proceeding or they were advancing. We've got an imperfect tense verb here. Again, make sure you're paying attention to your verb tenses. We have nullae stellae. This is no stars. And we have in Kylo, in the sky. Then we have desertai. This is deserted, meaning abandoned, and not related to dessert. 2 S's for dessert. Anyway, so desertai means deserted. Feles, we have cat. This is related to our word feline. Ruerunt. Ruerunt is rushed. This is a perfect tense. This is one of those perfect tenses that's not super obvious at first glance, except for, remember we have that erunt. Erunt is a bit longer of a third person plural ending than just that normal NT. So that's kind of your clue there. De vita desperabant. They were scared for their lives. So literally like desperabant, they were despairing for or afraid for. And then de means concerning. We learned this in our preposition lesson this week. So about or concerning. And then vita is life. So about their life, they were despairing for their lives. They're afraid for their lives in that sort of a sense. And then fecerunt, this is made. And then soliciti is worried or anxious. All right, so remember in this chapter so far, we had we had Felix telling the story of the werewolf. And then in the last week's story, we had Decanes being killed by a ghost. So lots of things happening. So this is post-cenam. So this is after dinner. Post, we've got another preposition going on here. Post-cenam, and it takes the accusative. All right, so postquam metella rem explicavit, omnes amici tacebant. Mox vale dixerunt, et villa disceserunt. Per viam timide procedebant. Nullae stellae lucebant. Nulla luna erat in caelo. Amici nihil audiverunt, quod viae desertae erant. Amici per urbem tacite procedebant, quod umbram timebant. Subito feles ululavit. That's a fun word. Amici valde timebant, omnes per urbem perterriti ruerunt, quod de vita desperabant. Clamorem mirabilem fecerunt. Multi Pompeiani erant soliciti, quod clamorem audiverunt. Caecilius et Metella clamorem non audiverunt. Quod in cubiculo dormiebant. All right, now there's quite a few words in this passage that we haven't necessarily learned as part of a vocabulary, but that we have seen in previous passages, especially in previous passages in this chapter. So refer back to some of the vocab here. I think the ulawit might have been, yes, so ulawit here, right? We see it in this chapter here, howled. So there's a few of these words that were, and then lukebat, right? There's a few of them, luna. So there's a lot of words that we saw in previous passages in this chapter. So you might need to refer back to the glossed vocab in some of these other passages to help you with this. Or as always, you can use the dictionary that's on Cambridge Elevate, or use the explore the story function, because that way you can just click on words that you're not sure about and it'll give you a definition there. So translate these passages. Again, this one's a little tricky because there's so many of these words that are from these previous passages, so it's kind of all tied in together, that aren't necessarily part of our vocabulary words. So refer back to these gloss words from the previous two passages, and that should help you a bit. Pay attention to your verbs as always. Again, really pay attention to if it's got that V for that perfect tense. That's one of your clues. If it's got the ba for the imperfect. Remember, imperfect, they was or were verbing. Perfect, it's just that simple past verbed. So do try and translate your verbs correctly. So that is it for part one. It's a fairly short passage, kind of comparatively. So hopefully this won't take you too long, but get that translated and then you can hop on over to part two and then you can make any corrections as necessary going over part two, and then you'll just submit or email me a picture of your completed translation. So see you in part two. Walete.